Gardening progress. So I figured I was about to do something, and I'll take you along for the journey. Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness, and today I'm going to put some fish compost or fish fertilizer in my garden. I bought this because my wife mentioned she wanted some fertilizer for our in-home, inside the house plants. We have 4 really big, nice aloe vera, which I love. I love multi-purpose items like that. It's a house plant. We get enjoyment from seeing them, but all the medicinal values of aloe vera. Awesome plant to have. I highly recommend adding that to having aloe veras in your home. Very, very good, especially for burns, skin irritations, skin stuff like that. So anyway, I got this thinking, oh great, it's good for indoor and outdoor. Not thinking that it is fish and it will really stink inside. So we're not going to use it inside. So I got a whole thing for my garden. So I'm happy about that. But we're going to do this. So what do the instructions say? The instructions are different for vegetables and or root vegetables. So vegetables is 2 tablespoons per gallon of water. That's vegetables. Root vegetables are 1 tablespoon, and this covers 25 square foot. Our raised beds are most of them are about 40 square foot. So 2 gallons would cover 50 square foot. So I figured what I'll do is we don't know exactly, we haven't planned out what is going in each bed yet. We're working on that. But so far I've been building raised beds and trying to fill raised beds. We haven't gone to the planting stage yet. We got the planting stage as far as getting seeds and other stuff, but we haven't gone there yet. So what I'm going to do is, not knowing what's going to be in what bed, what I'll do is I'll just use 1 tablespoon per gallon, and then I'll put 2 gallons in each raised bed. That way, yeah, I'll have a little bit more than 1 tablespoon. But it all equals out. It won't be quite 2 tablespoons, and I'll be putting them in 2, 3, maybe 4. I'm not gonna mess with that one. That one is Jerusalem artichokes. They're an invasive species, and that is already 50-50 mushroom compost and topsoil mix. That should be good. So I'm not gonna worry about that for this year. They will grow well. I know they will. But I got 3 raised beds that are done, ready for planting. So I'm gonna put some of this in those, and then I have 1, 2. I'm not going to add any to the onion and the garlic bed because they're fine. That's good stuff, fresh from last year, and I'm not adding anything to it, and they're already growing, so I don't want to mess with them. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 raised beds that I'm going to be adding this to today. So I figured I'd just show you guys. I'll take you along for the ride. So what are you going to need for this project? Well, you need the fish fertilizer, measuring spoons, and a gallon. So we've got a gallon jug. Milo's 0-calorie sweet tea. My wife likes it. I was trying to figure out, I'm like, how am I going to do this? I'll measure out how many cups are in a gallon, and then I will fill a bucket in the yard. Well, then I walk outside and pass by my recycle bin, and I see these sitting there. I'm like, oh, yeah. A lot of times I'll fill these with water. I'll rinse them out really well, I'll clean them up, and I'll use these for water. I get it, they don't last that long. The plastic is really weak and it will deteriorate quickly. They can crack, they can break. If they get frozen and really hot, it shortens their life. But I still put water in these things because, yeah, it's short term, may only last a year. After I know that things are left in there for a year, I will just go empty them out, throw them in the recycle, and fill some more. Because having lots of water is very important. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about today. Today we're talking about this fish fertilizer. So I'm just going to take the lid off. Let me see. There we go. We got the lid off of that. Put upside. I don't want to get this stuff on me because this is like really, oh man, this is nasty. So I'm going to put a tablespoon. Oh yeah, that's good stuff right there. Oh yeah, see, that's why I was really careful. So most of the excess went on the outside. So I can just spray that off, no big deal. That's a lot thicker than I thought it would be. I thought it would be more liquidy. But anyway, There's about a tablespoon. So just take the garden hose here. Whoop, not too much. Let's get it going a little more gentle. There we go. Rinse this off. I know I'll use it again anyway, but... And rinse off the outside of the jug. Yeah, that smells good. I'm glad we decided not to use this inside. And fill the jug. So while I'm filling the jug, I will just talk to you guys. Amending your soil and getting it ready for use is important. Your fruits, vegetables, whatever it may be, will produce more. They will taste better, they will be healthier, and you will just have much better results. We use compost that we make in our compost bin. We also, a lot of times in raised beds, if I'm adding height to the raised bed or a lot of dirt, sometimes I just throw in, like, you know, apple peels, apple cores, banana peels, citrus rinds. I know those aren't the best sometimes, so I limit those. But also bits of newspaper, things like that. Sometimes cardboard, but any kind of stuff from inside. Rinds from, you know, fruits and vegetables, or peels, you know, just different stuff. You can throw that in there, and it'll just, you know, break down. It'll compost itself in the soil inside your raised bed. Doesn't necessarily have to be in a compost bin. All right, so we're getting up to the gallon mark. Shut it off, and we will go over. Hello. We will go over here and pour it in the raised bed. Pretty simple. Okay, here is the first raised bed we're gonna do. I'll kind of back up so you guys can see it. That's a 4 by 10, so about 40 square foot. So just gonna take the jug and pour it around. Really exciting, I know. I'm not gonna worry about, you know, perfect coverage. I'm just gonna pour it in there. Because if I get any extra, I'll just kind of go over it again. There you go. So that's the first one. I'm going to do a second one in here anyway. So we'll go over here and I will mix up the second batch. Second batch is made up. Now I'm just going to pour it over the raised bed again. Just trying to get the areas I didn't get maybe some of. Making sure I got good coverage. Hello, simple process. Stay tuned, we're going to talk about some other stuff too. There's one thought I came up with. I put the tablespoon of fertilizer in here. So I thought before I just filled it up. So now I actually realized this is a little bit better way to do it because, you know, common sense. Put some water in there and then mix it up just to make sure it's fully mixed. No big deal. But as you can see by my knee, my pant leg here, I overshot like this a bunch of times, turned it on too fast and got myself soaking wet. You know, that's what happens sometimes. You get wet, you get muddy, you get dirty, whatever. We're doing the things. One lesson learned is, I was wondering why it was so thick. Well, I didn't read the directions. Shake well. And another question you guys might have, I had, was, well, how often do I need to use this? Good question, right? Application frequency is apply every 3 weeks during the growing season at the recommended rates. So that's what I'll do. Right now I'm just putting them in the raised beds just to get those nutrients in there. Kind of setting myself up for success. Anyway, we'll talk about more stuff in just a sec. Rinse and repeat. Just filling up one of these again. And putting in another raised bed. Like I said, I'm putting in 1 tablespoon per gallon, and then which covers 25 square feet. So I'm doing 2 because my raised beds are approximately 40 square foot. Some are bigger, some are a little bit smaller, but hey, come on. It's not rocket science. It doesn't have to be measured to a T. But I'm just going to continue this. I'm going to put another one over there. And the dog's barking because the Amazon delivery truck just drove by. Anyway, one thing I was thinking about also is even when you're out and about gardening, have one of these on you because you never know when things will go bad. Hopefully they never do. If they don't, you're good. But if you got something on you to be able to protect yourself or your family, the better off you might be with training, luck, and whatever else goes on. So I'm going to go throw this in this raised bed. I don't know if you can see me on camera, but and continuing on, we are going to talk about some other stuff also. I just had to laugh because my daughter is super excited because the Amazon truck went by and that may be her homeschooling curriculum for this year. She's 5 and we've been teaching her all along, of course. We're working on sight words and a bunch of other cool things. I guess while I'm talking about this, I highly recommend homeschooling. Get your kids out of the public indoctrination system. Homeschool them. And on the note of, I was talking about this, having defensive tools, go-to knife. Yeah, it's always good to have a knife on you because you never know when I'm going to have to hack up stuff, I'm going to have to clear stuff, I'm going to have to trim stuff, whatever. SC6, my go-to knife. Love these knives. Yeah, they are, it's a good fighting knife, good bushcraft knife, good all-around knife. Love SCs. The only thing I need is a custom sheath. My buddy's going to hook me up though. Also going to do one where I'm going to put in, let me see, put this on flatter ground. There we go. And I will mix this one to add to one of the raised beds that is still needing to be topped off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 4 tablespoons in about half a gallon and just pour it in the raised bed because it's a raised bed that has dirt and other stuff like raw organic material from the forest and stuff like that, as well as some fruits, vegetables, stuff like that that will be composting down inside the bed. We still have to add a lot of the good topsoil and topsoil like mushroom compost mix or fish mix, whatever we use. So I'm just going to pour this in right here now because, there we go, because this talks about, let me see, where does it talk about it? Yeah. Additionally, naturally occurring soil microbes will thrive and work their best in soil rich in organic matter. So it's already going to be rich in organic matter, and I figure any of the microbes in here will just help that stuff that much better break down, get all into the soil really well, so that when I get ready to add all the stuff and start planting, we're going to be good to go. We're going to grow a lot of food this year. A lot of food. We're getting stuff hammered out, working on stuff. My boy, my 13-year-old boy, is actually across the street at my neighbor's, helping him offload topsoil into his new raised bed also. So yes, community matters. Tribe rules. Your tribe and neighbors. I love living in an area. When I walk over dressed like this, nobody bats an eyelash because it's the norm. I think that's a good thing because it's good people, and these protect us. The cops aren't always going to come, and if they do, it may take them a while to get here. So we have to watch each other's back, especially when you live rural. It's good to have people that got your back. Speaking of the other gardening stuff and lessons learned. So last year we had a really harsh heat wave. It was the hottest temperatures on record here. It was like 124 degrees one day in western Washington. Yeah, it was crazy. All-time highs from recorded history. And up until that point, when I went over to my neighbor's, her watering her garden, I saw how much she watered her garden and realized, whoa, I'm way underwatering. Unfortunately, I found that out after the heat wave. So my garden production was definitely restricted, held back, limited last year due to that. But I've learned my lesson now and I move forward. That's what we do. That's why you gotta do this stuff. You gotta get out here. You gotta see how the stuff works. I'm checking out this fish fertilizer. We'll see how well that works. I mean, am I gonna be able to tell the difference between that and not using it because of everything else I'm doing to my soil and all the good soil I have? Who knows? But I tell you what, one thing I'm really blessed with is around here we have tons of worms in our soil, just naturally occurring. I don't have to grow worms. I don't have to raise worms. They grow themselves really well around here, so I'm really blessed for that. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to show you around some, little of this stuff and to show you my little project of the day. Well, one of my little projects of the day. And it's getting ready. We're getting on to springtime. Pretty soon, it will be planting time. So I'm feeling the rush now. I'm looking around and I gotta add height to that raised bed. So that's one. Then let me see. I think I'm gonna leave all the other raised beds at the height that they are right now. I think that they're good. They're high enough. Maybe a little more height would be better, but one raised bed I need to add height to. So basically, I need to buy 3 2x10s. I'm thinking it'll be good for that one. Yeah, 2x10s, and then 8 foot, and that'll be 8 foot down the side, and an 8 foot one cut off in half at the ends. Really simple, Cut one board in half, nail it on the ends, bam, you got a raised bed. Throw some dirt in there. Simple. Now I like, as you see, raised beds like this and that for free. Stuff I had laying around. Now that one I paid for the lumber, that one my neighbor gave me when he built his new all metal raised beds that'll last him a long time. But looking around me, I paid for these 3 in front of me and these 2 little ones. But other than that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of my raised beds were absolutely free. Basically the cost of nails and screws. So I love that idea. But yeah, and then we're going to start getting some topsoil in here and filling up these raised beds, getting them filled up. And then probably the last little bit, maybe the last 3-4 inches-ish, I will get that topsoil mushroom compost mix that we use so well around here, and also use some of that fish fertilizer in it, so it'll be kind of like the best of both worlds. So we'll see how that works. I'm getting really excited for growing season. I hope you guys are too. Have a wonderful day, and don't forget to subscribe. Blessings to you and yours.